Chapter 161. I trusted you, Kellyan. How could you do this? Well, it's... As Sejun interrogated Kellyan, who was caught red-handed. Ha ha ha, good job, Theo, you did well. Kaiser, who had returned after attending to his business, praised Theo for capturing Kellyan. That's right, Meow. I'm amazing, Meow. Listen closely, Lord Kaiser, Meow. I was sleeping when I felt a tremendous malicious energy, Meow. So I woke up feeling something was off, Meow. And then... The proud Theo began to excitedly exaggerate the story of how he caught Kellyan. And then... I'm sorry, actually. Sejun heard about Kellyan's grandson, Ajax. So, your grandson has become a tower farmer of the White Tower, but his magic power is too strong to grow crops. Yes, but when I saw the grade A elixir cherry tomatoes, I couldn't help but get greedy. Why didn't you just tell me? If he had been honest from the start, Sejun would have simply given him the seeds. Of course, in exchange for 10–20% of the harvest. For Sejun, it was a bit of a concession, but he would have been satisfied with that deal since he couldn't plant it himself. However, since Kellyan was caught stealing, Sejun gained leverage for a much more favorable contract. Did I save a country in my past life? No, not just a country. I must have saved the world. Otherwise, how could I be this lucky? Or did I do a great favor for Theo in a past life? Sejun smiled as he watched Theo bragging excitedly to Kaiser, then turned his gaze back to Kellyan. Let's do this. What? I'll give you 100 seeds of the grade A elixir cherry tomatoes. That was all the seeds Sejun had, excluding those in the golden box of abundance. Really? Kellyan spoke in disbelief. He didn't expect Sejun to hand over the seeds so easily after he tried to steal them, but Sejun had his own plans. But there are two conditions. Conditions? Yes. Firstly, for the next 100 years, give me 90% of the harvest. After 100 years, 20%. Fine. Although a 9–1 split was unfavorable to dragons, 100 years wasn't that long. And if they failed, there was no risk. If the harvest was 0, there was nothing to give. Okay, what's the second condition? Give me 100 dragon tooth warriors. What, 100 dragon tooth warriors? Can't I just pay you in cash? 100 dragon tooth warriors could be exchanged for 100,000 bottles of regular Maxiali. It would have been easier to just pay cash. But, no, I want the dragon tooth warriors. Sejun firmly declined. To him, dragon tooth warriors were more valuable than money. He planned to arm the wolf tribe and the rabbit kingdom on the 55th floor, the banana farm on the 77th floor, and the chestnut farm on the 83rd floor, so they could guard the farms better. Vice Chairman Theo. Chairman Park, here's the contract, Meow. Theo, having finished his conversation with Kaiser, quickly handed over the contract. Swish. Receiving the contract, Sejun quickly wrote down the agreement and stamped it. Lord Kellyan, please stamp here, Meow. Theo handed the contract to Kellyan. With the contract completed, Sejun and Kellyan exchanged 100 grade A elixir cherry tomato seeds and 100 dragon tooth warriors. Just to let you know, these grade A elixir cherry tomatoes are exclusively cultivated by me in the tower. In other words, you can't plant them without my permission. It was a warning not to steal the crops. Exclusive cultivation rights, there's such a thing. Yes, it's a privilege given only to tower farmers who harvest new varieties, so don't deceive me about the yield and think about planting behind my back. I see, understood. With Kellyan's reply, the white dragon statue stopped. He quickly left to give the seeds to his grandson. Kellyan, too, had been through a lot for his grandson. Vice Chairman Theo, let's go to sleep. Chairman Park, aren't you going to praise me, Meow? He had caught a thief, but when Sejun tried to sleep without any celebration, Theo spoke with disappointment. It was typical of Theo to pay attention to such details. All right, 1-month extension for Vice Chairman term. It feels a bit lacking. I wish there was a slogan like last time. Is that what it was about? Sejun shook his body, hyping up the mood. Then, who's the cat with the ability to catch thieves at night? He said rhythmically, like rapping. Then he handed the imaginary microphone to Theo. It's me, Theo Park, meow. Then, who's the brave cat that shouts thief in front of a dragon? It's me, Theo Park, meow. And who's the cool cat that confidently hands the contract to the dragon? It's me, Theo Park, meow. You say Theo, I say Park. Theo, meow. Park. What? Shall we sleep now? Not yet, meow, Theo, meow. Park. The elated Theo went wild. After about an hour of celebrations. Mew-owa, Chairman Park, I'm sleepy now, meow. Let's sleep, meow. Finally, Theo was satisfied. Okay. Sejun, having barely satisfied Theo, fell asleep. A very long day had finally come to an end. Why did you call me again, Grandpa? Don't you know I'm busy farming? Ajax, with dirt all over him, appeared grumbling at the call of Kellyan. Stop complaining and plant these. Kellyan handed Ajax 100 seeds of elixir cherry tomato. What are these? They're from the Black Tower's farmer. What, the Black Tower? Ajax was surprised by Kellyan's words. He knew how much his grandfather despised the Black Tower. He thought the seeds weren't acquired in a good way. All right, I'll plant them for now, Ajax said gloomily, and then teleported back to the 99th floor of the tower. And, whoosh, he threw the 100 elixir cherry tomato seeds into a field where other seeds were already planted. It was more bothersome to summon monsters and instruct them to plant. They'll grow on their own. Yawn, I should sleep. As Ajax was about to return to his dwelling after scattering the seeds. Whoosh. Huh. He felt the surrounding magic power being rapidly absorbed towards where he had just scattered the seeds. Thud. The seeds grew at an alarming rate. Using the abundant magic power, the elixir cherry tomatoes grew rapidly and bore fruit almost immediately. Muhahaha, I did it. Ajax cheered. Finally, the crops had grown from the spot where he had sown the seeds. Pop. Ajax plucked one of the newly formed cherry tomatoes and ate it. Oh, delicious. The tangy flavor made his eyes widen in surprise. Hell, it's tasty. And so, Ajax ate cherry tomatoes until he was full and said, I should plant some more. He started to plant more seeds from the cherry tomatoes. Then, you have planted the crops of Park Sejun, the tower farmer of the Black Tower who has exclusive cultivation rights without permission. According to the tower's law, a message appeared in front of Ajax. What, without permission? It was Kellyan's mistake. Kellyan didn't expect the tomatoes to grow so fast and intended to inform Ajax about the exclusive cultivation rights and contract details later on. How dare you? You dare impose the tower's law on me, the great white dragon. Of course, even if Kellyan had informed him about the contract, Ajax would likely have planted them anyway given his nature. The next morning, Sejun woke up. And I caught a thief trying to steal Chairman Park's belongings last night, meow. Kroong. Big brother, you're amazing. The animal's conversation could be heard. Theo was bragging about his exploits to Kyungi from the night before. Kroong Kroong. Dad's awake. Dad, Kyungi is hungry. As soon as Sejun woke up, Kyungi started to whine about being hungry. Just wait a moment. Sejun headed to the cooking area with the animals. While Sejun was preparing breakfast. Kroong. Our big bro caught a thief last night. Kyungi bragged to the rabbits and monkeys about Theo's achievement. And, our fourth sibling is doing well, meow. Theo looking proudly at Kyungi. Then, Kroong Kroong. So big brother said, what came after that? Kyungi, who had been eagerly recounting the story, suddenly stopped. That's when I said to the evil dragon, meow, stop stealing right now. Kroong Kroong. That's right, big bro said that, and then big bro. Kids, let's eat. Theo continued the story where Kyungi left off, and in the meantime, breakfast was ready. After breakfast, let have colorful flowers bloom behind the dragon, and at the end, make fireworks where everyone appears. Kaiwat, okay. Sejun discussed the fireworks display for the birthday party finale with Yona. They should have discussed this matter yesterday, but their schedule was delayed due to waking up an earth dragon in the north. Now, only 2 days were left until the birthday party. They needed to finalize the fireworks display today so that Yona and her subordinate wizards could complete the preparations on time. Kaiwat. I'll head to the wizard tower now to work on the fireworks display. Okay, thanks for your help. Sejun finished discussing with Yona. Chairman Park, if there's nothing left to do, let's sleep, meow. Theo, who had been recounting his stories to the animals, clung to Sejun's knee and suggested, "No, we're going to make rice cakes now." Sejun planned to stack honey suritiok, rice cake, like bricks to make a giant cake for the birthday party. Krung. Rice cakes, they're delicious when dipped in honey. Kyungi, who followed Theo, got excited when he heard Sejun mention making the rice cakes. No, you can't eat the rice cakes we're making today. Krung. So are you going to eat them all by yourself? Kyungi said, sounding disappointed. No, if I were to eat them, I would share with Kyungi. The rice cakes we're making today are for our birthday party, so you can resist eating them, right? Sejun said, patting Kyungi's head. Krung. So I can eat them during the birthday party. Yes, after we sing you can eat. For now, eat this crop gigantification. Sejun consoled Kyungi by using his skill to enlarge a sweet potato into a giant 3-meter sweet potato and gave it to him. Krung. I understand, I'll wait. With determination, Kyungi climbed onto the huge sweet potato and eagerly dug into it, disappearing inside. Chairman Park, what about me, meow? Seeing Kyungi receiving something, Theo immediately demanded something for himself. Do you want a churu? That's boring, meow. Huh? Sejun was shocked to see Theo refusing the churu. But then, how about 2 churus? That's better, meow. Fortunately, Theo wasn't actually rejecting the churus. Just wait a moment. Sejun quickly put down the rice cakes and handed Theo 2 churus, 1 tuna-flavored and 1 chicken-flavored. Slurp. Delicious, meow. Theo happily licked the churus one by one. As Sejun watched Theo enjoying his treat. The tower farmer of the White Tower, Ajax Maimb, has been confirmed to have planted the elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful magic power without permission. A message appeared in front of Sejun. There always seems to be those who do what they're told not to. Just as Sejun was wondering what to make of this. According to the tower's laws, any tower farmer who plants crops without permission that someone else has exclusive rights to must work for that person for 100 years. According to the tower's laws, Park Sejun, the tower farmer of the Black Tower, will have Ajax Maimb, the tower farmer of the White Tower, work for him for the next 100 years. Another message appeared. Sejun had just acquired a slave for 100 years. Chapter 162. Where should I use this guy? If I meet Ajax directly and order him around, I could be sent straight to the afterlife. Well, I don't have a way to meet him directly anyway. I guess I'll have to give orders through Kellyan. While Sejun was pondering how to effectively use Ajax. Do you want to summon Ajax Maimb, the farmer of the White Tower? A message appeared again. What? No, absolutely not. Sejun exclaimed in surprise. Summon a dragon? Who's trying to get killed? He couldn't summon a dragon in a situation where his own safety wasn't assured, especially a dragon that surely had resentment towards him. Meow. Chairman Park, was it wrong for me to eat 2 treats, meow? Theo, reacting to Sejun's words, stood up straight and spoke in a dejected tone, misunderstanding the message as if it was directed at him. No, I wasn't talking about you, Vice Chairman Theo. Go ahead and eat your churu. Sejun fed the churu to Theo's mouth. Then, Pew hut, I knew it, meow. Chairman Park would never do that to me, meow. Theo, easily cheered up by Sejun's response, lay back down. Such a simple-minded creature. All right, now eat up. Sejun stroked Theo's belly as he ate, comforting him. Pew hut feels good, meow. As Theo continued eating another churro, Sejun checked the new message. You have declined to summon Ajax Maimb, the farmer of the White Tower. You can remotely give simple instructions to Ajax Maimb of the White Tower once a day. I can give remote orders too. Current tasks you can assign to the White Tower's farmer. Harvest and offer the elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful magic power, 02115. What's this? He wasn't sure what had happened, but there were over 2,000 elixir cherry tomatoes ready for harvest. Probably because planting in land with strong magic power makes them grow incredibly fast. Haha, get to work, slave. Sejun, laughing like a villain, ordered Ajax to harvest and offer the elixir cherry tomatoes. However, Ajax Maimb, the farmer of the White Tower, refuses your command. Ajax refused the command. You can punish Ajax Maimb, the farmer of the White Tower, for refusing the command. Water baptism, fire baptism, stone baptism, tickling. What? The punishment seemed quite trivial considering the opponent was a dragon. The baptisms with water, fire, or stone didn't seem like they would have any effect. Do dragons even feel ticklish? Tickling seemed the most likely to have some effect. After pondering a bit more, Sejun chose tickling as the punishment. A moment later. Oh, dragons are ticklish too. Ajax Maimb, the farmer of the White Tower, harvested one elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful magic power. Ajax began harvesting, letting Sejun know dragons were indeed ticklish. One elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful magic power, is offered to Park Sejun, the farmer of the Black Tower. To transport crops weighing 100 kg or less from the White Tower to the Black Tower, a transportation fee of 1 million tower coins is required. What 1 million? Would you like to transport it now? Why are you even asking? Of course not. 1 million tower coins for just one elixir cherry tomato was way too expensive. Sejun decided to wait and bulk ship. He'd transport when he had a full load. One elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful magic power, are stored in the temporary storage of the White Tower. Ajax Maimb, the farmer of the White Tower, harvested one elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful magic power. 2 elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful magic power, are stored in the temporary storage of the White Tower. Thereafter, the elixir cherry tomatoes were stored in the temporary storage. Once Sejun saw Ajax working, he didn't press further. Just then, Kyungi's snoring sound was heard. Are you asleep, Kyungi? Sejun quietly called out to Kyungi, and looked around the huge sweet potato where Kyungi was. Upon discovering Kyungi, he stifled a laugh. Kyungi, having eaten a large sweet potato and carved a hole inside, was sleeping within the sweet potato. Munch munch. Kyungi, even in his sleep, kept eating the sweet potato. He truly had an insatiable appetite. I need to give him a bath. Sejun said this looking at Kyungi, whose fur had become sticky and clumped from the gooey residue of the sweet potato. It looked like he had eaten the sweet potato with his entire body. Chairman Park, I won't take a bath, I'm clean. At the mention of a bath, Theo quickly began to lick himself all over. All right. Sejun, with Theo on his lap, headed back to the cooking area. He needed to keep steaming the rice cakes until tomorrow morning to finish the large rice cake for the birthday party and proudly present it to everyone. After steaming a few batches, Sejun, waiting in front of the pot where the rice cake was steaming, started to feel increasingly drowsy. His head started to droop as he began to doze off. Then, phew fuff, jigororong. Not missing the chance, Theo curled up on Sejun's lap and fell asleep. The Black Tower's tower farmer, Park Sejun, has ordered, Harvest the elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful magic power, and offer it. What, you want me to personally pick all of those and offer them? Ajax, who hates moving around. And now, he's supposed to follow someone else's orders, especially an audacious order directed at the magnificent white dragon. I refuse. Offended, Ajax naturally refused. The Black Tower's tower farmer, Park Sejun, sends you the punishment of tickling for refusing the order. What? Ha ha ha. Suddenly, with the message, Ajax began to feel tickled all over his body. Among the dragons, Ajax was especially susceptible to tickling. Haha, okay, I'll do it, I said I will. To avoid the tickling punishment, Ajax decided to follow the order for now. Park Sejun, I swear I'll kill you. Hey, all of you pick those now. Ajax, grinding his teeth in anger, ordered the monsters around. He had no intention of obediently following the instructions. However, the order has not been followed for 5 seconds. If the order is not followed for more than 10 seconds, the punishment of tickling will start again. The tower system was unexpectedly meticulous. Arg so annoying. In the end, Ajax decided to personally harvest the cherry tomato. HMPH, I'll harvest them and eat them myself. Judging from the previous events, planting was the problem, not eating. Pop. Ajax harvested a single elixir cherry tomato. You have harvested the elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful magic power. Your job experience greatly increases. In an instant, his rank quickly rose to grade E, and his harvesting skill level increased to level 2. Haha, good. Since it has come to this, I might as well take advantage of the situation. Eating the cherry tomatoes would not only fill his stomach, but also increase his job grade and skill level. It was like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Then, elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful magic power, has been offered to the Black Tower's tower farmer Park Sejun. The cherry tomato in Ajax's hand vanished as it was offered to Sejun. Darn it! He was frustrated, but he couldn't disobey the order, so he just harvested another cherry tomato. While doing so, I've found it. Ajax found a way to avoid the command without doing the work. It was to lay his hand over the cherry tomatoes without picking them. Hey, hurry up and pick and bring it to me. Yes. Thus, Ajax laid on a bed in front of the cherry tomatoes and simply raised a finger while ordering the monsters to pick and bring the tomatoes to him. And then, delicious. He enjoyed the cherry tomatoes brought by the monsters. Did I doze off? Sejun, who had been napping, hurriedly wiped the drool from around his mouth and the drool that had fallen on Theo's back. Just then, as Sejun turned his body due to the warmth he felt on the right side of his hip. Jigororong. Kyungi was asleep, snuggled up to Sejun's back. When did he get here? Meow. Sejun gently picked up Theo and placed him on his knee, approaching the pot and lifting the lid. Sizzle. The smell of perfectly cooked rice cakes, along with the steam, tickled Sejun's nose. It's well cooked. Sejun set aside the finished rice cake and poured new rice cake batter into another pot, then sat down next to Kyungi. Then, Krung. Kyungi slowly moved and pressed its back against Sejun's back. How cute. Sejun patted both Kyungi and Theo's backs and checked his status window after a long time. Park Sejun LV, 57. Right arrow talents. Mediocre all-rounder, friend of nature, millennium landlord, enhanced magic circuit, fire mastery. Right arrow stats. Strength 30, stamina 78, agility 45, magic 109. Right arrow job, tower farmer B, subordinate tower farmer, White Tower's tower farmer, F, Ajax maimed, currently following orders. Right arrow skills, magic seed sowing LV, 6 harvesting LV, 7 seed shop LV, 3 seed harvesting LV, 6 farmer's touch LV, 4 crop gigantification LV, 2 beekeeping LV, 8 rain thunder LV, 3 cooking LV, 5 Sejun's status has grown a lot while facing various challenges. Lately, he has been secretly consuming elixir mushrooms after learning how to hide his scent by eating mushrooms and honey without Kyungi knowing, thus increasing his stats. Then, he's still following orders. Looking at Ajax's status, Sejun was puzzled. It made sense that an F rank couldn't farm well, but not harvesting around 2,000 cherry tomatoes was hard to understand. He should have finished it a long time ago. When Sejun clicked on Ajax's name in the status window. Current task assigned to White Tower's Tower Farmer Ajax maimed. Harvest and offer the elixir. Cherry tomato imbued with powerful magic power, 20115. The progress of the task Sejun assigned to Ajax appeared. 200. The number of elixir cherry tomatoes to be harvested dropped from 2,000 to 115, but only 200 were actually harvested. Even after waiting a while, the left number didn't change. The harvesting had stopped. Ajax had figured out how to slack off without getting punished. However, 210. 257. Contrarily, the number on the right kept decreasing. Sejun, who hated idle workers even in games, was furious to see that this guy was actually stealing resources. He's taking them away. Enraged, Sejun went to confront Kellyan. In the meantime, the number of cherry tomatoes dropped to 0. The harvest is over. When the cherry tomato harvest was done, Ajax got up from the bed. Keep harvesting cherry tomatoes until I return. Yes. Ajax, after giving orders to the monsters, left through the tower administrator's area. Then, how dare you command me? Whoosh! Ajax transformed into his original form and began flying towards the Black Tower. He knew the secret passage Kellyan used to enter the Black Tower. Park Sejun, just wait, I'll make you pay for insulting me. Just as Ajax, burning with anger against Sejun, was about to enter the secret passage to the Black Tower. Thud! Buffy! A majestic black dragon swiftly flew in and punched Ajax in the stomach. Who dares to mess with our Sejun? Aileen, enraged, began to beat up Ajax. Chapter 163, I'll go get him. Sejun, striding with confidence, went to Kellyan to inquire about Ajax's matters. Just then, the tower's administrator asks what angered you. Aileen approached him. Aileen, is your training done? How's your dragon heart? Is it better? Sejun asked hurriedly, expressing his concerns. The tower's administrator says that thanks to you, the dragon heart has finally healed. Really, that's great. Sejun expressed his genuine happiness upon hearing Aileen's answer. The tower's administrator says that from now on, you can leave everything to them. Okay. If I just follow Aileen now, life will be smooth sailing, right? Upon hearing the words of Aileen, the real power holder of the tower, Sejun felt elated, seeing a brighter future. However, whether this was true remained to be seen. The tower's administrator asks you to explain why you are angry. Actually, Sejun began to explain in detail to Aileen everything from when Kellyan was caught stealing seeds to just moments ago. Sejun, just trust me and leave everything to me. I'll take care of everything. Aileen, having finished her training, spoke with immense confidence, and it was well-deserved. While using the fragment of the dragon heart to heal her own dragon heart, an unexpected event occurred. How much pain did you endure? The consciousness of the original owner of the dragon heart fragment, a black dragon, awoke and began assisting Aileen with the healing. Surprisingly, the owner of the dragon heart fragment was the first black dragon, Kaira, the most powerful dragon of that era. Child, never forget the pride of the great black dragon. Yes, grandmother Kaira. Thanks to this, with the assistance of Kaira's lingering consciousness, Aileen raised her talent by 5 levels and acquired the talent, Resilient Dragon Heart. Not only was her dragon heart healed, but she also became much more powerful than her peers. What? You made Ajax from the White Tower your slave and he's not listening. Just call him. I'll handle it. Aileen confidently urged Sejun to summon Ajax when a white dragon, Ajax Mame, is trying to infiltrate the Black Tower. Do you wish to allow the intrusion? A message appeared in Aileen's crystal orb. In the past, her magic power wasn't sufficient, and the Black Tower's defense system didn't function properly. But now, things were drastically different. With Aileen's ample magic power, the primary functions of the defense system began to operate, detecting Ajax's attempt to infiltrate through a secret passage. Oh, no need to call him, don't, I'll go get him. Aileen exited the administrator area and flew swiftly towards Ajax. How dare he disobey our Sejun? Aileen was angrier at Ajax for disobeying Sejun than for secretly infiltrating the Black Tower. Thus, Aileen flew towards where Ajax was. Then, Park Sejun, you just wait, I'll make you pay for insulting me. What? Upon hearing Ajax's words, an angry Aileen began to relentlessly beat him. Thud thud. Cough joke. What's going on? Ajax couldn't comprehend the current situation. Aileen was supposed to be confined to the administrator's area due to her Dragonheart hardening illness. And yet, not only was she perfectly fine outside the administrator's area, but she was also strong enough to beat someone 300 years her senior. Aileen, let's talk. It's me, Ajax, brother Ajax. Don't you recognize me? In his hurry to avoid more beating, Ajax called out to Aileen. However, of course I know you, our Sejun's slave. What? Why aren't you listening to our Sejun? This only enraged Aileen even more. Thud thud. Aileen continued to beat Ajax until her anger subsided. Haha, this is so relieving. Having dealt with Ajax, Aileen grabbed him by the collar and dragged him to Sejun. 40th floor of the tower. I'm embarrassed to say, but recently our sturdy blade green onion leaves were stolen by other hunters. I'm afraid they will continue to target the green onion leaves. We might not be able to protect them on our own. We need help. Han Taejun asked the cat interns who brought the sturdy blade green onion leaves for assistance. How dare they steal from our Chairman Park? I'll report this to Vice Chairman Theo right away. I'll call the wolf team immediately. The cat interns busily sprang into action. How dare they touch the belongings of Chairman Park and Vice Chairman Theo? This was unforgivable. They were extremely attached. Initially, these cats became interns not out of attachment but due to coercion. However, lately, they took pride in their job. Due to their contracts, they could only earn a grilled fish per day as salary, but they also received 1% of the sales as an incentive. This incentive turned out to be significant. If they worked hard, they could earn 50 to 100 tower coins a month. Because of this, they went from being the troublemakers at home to being the pride of their homes, and became the envy of many cats in the Grainier village. Now, their goal was not to finish their contract period and become free, but to become official employees after their internship. The cat interns scattered to various places to report the situation. It's an emergency. There are beings stealing Vice Chairman Theo's belongings. We need reinforcements. How dare they try to steal the belongings of Theo Park, the subordinate of the Great Black Dragon? Cat intern Bill went to King Ulrich of the Black Orcs, located on the 41st floor, and requested support. I wonder if she's okay. Sejun worried about Aileen, who suddenly mentioned bringing Ajax and then cut off the message. Meanwhile, Kyungi, wake up, let's take a bath. Sejun woke up Kyungi, planning to bathe him while the rice cakes were being cooked. However, Kroong, Kyungi is sleepy. Kyungi was grumpy from being woken up. Forcibly waking him could make the baby beast aggressive. But of course, Sejun had a secret weapon to get Kyungi up instantly. I'll give you honey after your bath. Kroong, Kyungi will take a bath. As expected, Kyungi immediately got up at Sejun's words. Sejun then took him to the fountain for a bath. Meow meow meow. Theo, at the center of the original fountain where Kaiser used to be, was humming while grooming himself, keeping an eye on Sejun. He licked himself thoroughly, afraid Sejun might find him dirty and bathe him. After the bath, Chairman Park Kyungi, watch my awesome landing, meow. Theo shouted and leaped from a 20m high fountain, making 3 aerial spins and landing in a superhero stance. Pewhut, how do I look? Cool, right? Theo asked smugly, putting both hands on his hips. Clap, clap, clap. Well, you do look cool. Sejun clapped and admitted it was a perfect landing. There wasn't even a sound, let alone any dust. Kroong. Kyungi can do it too. Seeing Big Bro Theo receive praise for his perfect landing, Kyungi also wanted to make a cool landing and get praised. Ha, Kyungi. Remember your weight, Kyungi. Before Sejun could stop him, Kyungi jumped off the fountain. Spiraling, Kyungi successfully spun 10 times in the air, harnessing both the rotational force and gravity to make a superhero landing. Then, boom! The situation was entirely different from Theo's landing. Crack! The ground split and Kyungi fell straight through. Kyungi! Sejun hurriedly approached the hole that Kyungi created, but it was so deep he couldn't see anything inside. Rumble! It seemed Kyungi was still falling, as there was a sound from the hole. What should I do? As Sejun wondered how to rescue Kyungi. Kroong! Kyungi suddenly sprang out from the hole. He had jumped back up from the bottom, returning to top again. Kyungi, you're safe, huh? What is this? Relieved, Sejun started to notice the aftermath of Kyungi's landing. Cracks were visible on Sejun's brick house, the fountain top, the water canal, and all the other buildings. On top of that, the rice cakes Sejun made all day were covered in dust. Phew! Sejun sighed upon seeing the dusty cakes. Kroong! Did Kyungi do something wrong? Kyungi, who had followed Sejun to show off, asked with a choked-up voice, realizing his mistake. It's okay. We can wash it off and cut off the parts with dirt, but be careful from now on. Sejun comforted Kyungi, patting his head. Kroong, kroong. Got it, from now on, Kyungi will be careful when jumping from high places. As they were cleaning off the dirt from the rice cakes, Sejun, I'm here. Aileen arrived on the 99th floor leading Ajax, with a loud cry filled with immense power. Aileen still wasn't used to controlling her strength. K-boom! A massive surge of energy hit the 99th floor. And then, of course, Sejun, the official manager of the 99th floor, found himself facing a sudden life-threatening crisis. Aileen had become too powerful for Sejun to handle. The body is critically injured from exposure to immense power. Power Indestructible Body has been activated. Using magic power to protect the body from breaking. Thud. Sejun suddenly felt a heavy weight in his chest, and his legs gave out. Chairman Park. Kroong. Dad. Theo and Kyungi rushed to support Sejun. Sejun, where are you? In the meantime, Aileen shouted out once again to find Sejun, this time with even more powerful magic power. Dragon Tribe skill, Dragon Skin, has been activated. The scale of the Great Black Dragon Kaiser has been destroyed. The dragon tattoo protected Sejun from Aileen's magic, and then disappeared. Unable to withstand Aileen's powerful magic, Sejun passed out. Chairman Park. Theo used the spare scales of Kaiser. He had to engrave a dragon tattoo onto Sejun's body once again. At that moment, flap flap, Kaiser and Kellyan, who were drinking, sensed the massive magic wave and moved. Then, Aileen, Ajax. The 2 dragons were taken aback when they saw Aileen, who was exuding immense magic power, and Ajax, who was unconscious and held by the scruff of his neck by Aileen. Grandpa, I'm all better now, Aileen said cheerfully to Kaiser. SSSSS. Every time Aileen spoke, her magic spread, causing the crops in the field to quickly turn yellow. They were dying from being overwhelmed by Aileen's magic power. Aileen, let's go to the administrator's area and talk. Kaiser tried to change the location quickly. No, I want to see Sejun first. Look around. The crops Sejun grew are dying because of your magic power. Sejun won't like that. Let's go to the administrator's area first. While Kaiser mentioned the crops, he was in a hurry because he knew that if Aileen didn't leave soon, Sejun might die. Currently, Kaiser was blocking some of the magic power heading towards where Sejun was. Fine. Realizing that she might earn Sejun's ire if the crops died, Aileen followed Kaiser's advice and moved to the administrator's area with the two dragon statues and Ajax. Phew, that was close, meow. Kroong. Big brother, is Dad okay now? As Theo let out a sigh of relief, Kyungi, who had Sejun's head between his legs and was wrapping him with his front paws, asked. Yes, meow, he's okay now, meow. Theo replied, patting Sejun's face. Then, Chairman Park, why are you so weak, meow? Theo lamented, rubbing Sejun's frail face. Chapter 164, Get over here right now. In the administrator's area of the Black Tower. Aileen, please let go of Ajax's collar for now. Kellyan coughed awkwardly as he spoke, looking at Ajax, who had been knocked unconscious after being struck by Aileen. His own grandson was 300 years older than Aileen. Furthermore, it was widely known that Aileen suffered from a disease where her dragon heart was hardening, thus diminishing most of her magic power. However, seeing his grandson being dragged around by the collar, unconscious, by such an Aileen made him uneasy. Yes, Aileen, let go of his collar and explain why Ajax is here. Kaiser chimed in, agreeing with Kellyan's statement. While he wanted to first inquire about the dragon heart, he gave way for Kellyan's sake. The sheer magnitude of magic emanating from Aileen made it evident that her illness had been cured. Yes, actually. Aileen began explaining, releasing Ajax's collar, how she came to hold him in such a manner. I was talking with Sejun when suddenly an alarm signaled Ajax's unauthorized entry. So, that bastard. Drat. The more Aileen spoke, the angrier Kaiser got, glaring at Ajax, and Kellyan swallowed hard. The secret passage Ajax tried to use was the one Kellyan had found and informed Ajax about. Kellyan was speechless. Furthermore, because Kellyan hadn't told Ajax about the contract with Sejun and exclusive cultivation rights, Ajax unknowingly planted the seed and ended up serving under Sejun for 100 years. Of course, even if informed, there was a high chance Ajax would have breached the contract, but Kellyan felt highly responsible for the mess. Ajax mustn't find out about this, right? Kellyan decided to handle it so that Ajax would never discover his mistake. Then, thumping. To ensure Ajax wouldn't get up, Kellyan kicked the back of his head, knocking him out cold. Any unnecessary outburst from Ajax could jeopardize his plans. So this is what that means. Second commandment. A tower farmer can command other tower farmers from different towers. Kellyan finally understood the true meaning of the second commandment, and also how to recruit a tower farmer. This could come in handy later. Kellyan felt satisfied with the information he'd gleaned. Then, given this is clearly Ajax's fault, how about forgiving him with a contract stating he cannot disobey Sejun's orders for 100 years? He intended to resolve this with a new contract, essentially covering up the old facts with new ones, thereby burying his own fault. The contract seems fine. What do you think, Aileen? Kaiser asked Aileen for her opinion. However, please make it 200 years instead of 100. The original was for 100 years after all. Aileen wasn't content with just 100 years. From Sejun's perspective, he would have happily signed a contract that allowed controlling Ajax without any threat to his own life. But for Aileen, Ajax was already akin to a 100-year slave. The contract offering restricting him from disobeying orders for just 100 years was not appealing to her. Fine. Kellyan drafted the contract and affixed Ajax's stamp to it. Then, please hand it over, I'll send it to Sejun. as Aileen began to send the contract to Sejun. Just stamp it here, right, meow. Theo, an expert in obtaining stamps without a hitch from unconscious beings, pressed Sejun's thumb on the contract. Thus, unbeknownst to the contracting parties, the contract was concluded while Sejun and Ajax were unconscious. With Ajax's matter settled. Aileen, by the way, what happened to the dragon heart? Kaiser asked what he had been curious about. Aileen, who had been equated with a newborn dragon in terms of magic power due to her illness, now had almost the power of a mature dragon. Hehe, a very old grandmother helped. A very old grandmother. Yes, Grandma Kyra. What, Kyra helped you? Hearing Aileen's words, Kaiser exclaimed in surprise. 10 dragons were first created by the creator god over 1,000,000 years ago. Among them, Kyra Pratani was called the strongest dragon. She was the pride of all black dragons and a subject of admiration. When he was young, Kaiser always pestered adults to tell him stories about Kyra. Grandma Kyra's thoughts were left in the fragments of the dragon heart. Really, where? That dragon heart fragment? Kaiser asked urgently. Now the memory of my grandmother is gone now. That's unfortunate still. It's fortunate that Kyra helped. Yes, can I go see Sejun now? That might be difficult. Why? I'll call Sejun to a place without crops. Well, Kaiser began to explain to Aileen in a way that would not disappoint her. Because my power has become too strong, it's dangerous for Sejun if I get close. At Kaiser's words, Aileen was greatly shocked. Then there's no point in fixing the dragon heart. I promised to appear at Sejun's birthday party. Now, let's try to increase Sejun's ability in the remaining time. Knowing that there was no way to reduce Aileen's increased power, Kaiser suggested they strengthen Sejun, but he knew it was a vain hope. If it was possible to become strong enough to withstand Aileen's power in less than 2 days, Sejun wouldn't have remained the weakest on the 99th floor of the tower. It was a temporary solution to console Aileen. Really? Then I'll make a tonic to make Sejun stronger. Grandpa, you help too. Although Sejun told her not to, Aileen believed that this time her cooking full of love was needed. What? You're even cooking for that guy Sejun? But Kaiser, who knew nothing, was busy being jealous of Sejun. He didn't even consider the feelings of the one who had to eat the food. The black orcs began to move south again. The news quickly spread through hunters hunting on the 40th floor, and the hunters in the camp hurriedly moved. But, thud thud, black orc troops surrounded the camp. Then, I am Ulrich, king of the black orcs, a subordinate of Theo Park. Ulrich stepped forward and spoke to the hunters. We are looking for the one who stole Lord Theo Park's belongings. Cooperate. The hunters reluctantly cooperated with the black orcs, fearing death, but they also held hope since he mentioned being Theo's subordinate. Women go that way, men line up here. The black orcs took the female hunters to a tent, and the male hunters to a large open area and lined them up. Cat intern Bill, who had been learning about human culture by trading with the hunters beside Ulrich, gave appropriate advice to avoid the hunters' resentment. Strip down to your underwear. What? The female hunters were startled by the black orc's statement. Take off their clothes and do what? There's nothing to be ashamed of. We are also women. What? Pointing to the clothes draped over their muscular chests, the black orc explained. The black orcs have a culture where only females wear tops. With only the upper body visible, it was impossible to differentiate between genders. The black orcs then meticulously checked each hunter, now in their underwear, for a 3-headed snake tattoo. About half of the hunters in the camp had been inspected when. Let go of this. A commotion broke out among the male hunters as one was subdued by a black orc. Torn from the hunter's shirt was a tattoo of a 3-headed snake forming a circle that was visible. Tell us everything you know. Lucan, the black orc tribe shaman, said as he shook his skeletal staff. What are you saying? I don't know, but eventually you'll talk. Thwack. When Lucan struck the man's head with the skull staff, The souls bound to the staff seeped into the man's head. A moment later. Cough, please. I'll tell you everything I know about the circle. Just take these monsters away. The man pleaded to Lucan. Speak and I'll take them away. Yes, what I know is. As soon as the man finished speaking. Thwack. Lucan hit the man's head again with the skull staff, retrieving the souls, and went to Ulrich. I found out. Really, as expected, Lucan's magic is always reliable. Heh, the grudge of the Black Orc maiden ghost is indeed fearsome. Just then, Your Majesty, the inspection is over. A Black Orc soldier reported. Good job, prepare to move. Lucan, where should we go? The place he mentioned is the 38th floor of the tower. We should head there first and gather more information. Understood, all troops move to the 38th floor of the tower. Peepoo. With the sound of the horn, the Black Orc forces moved to the 38th floor. Sejun, who had fainted after being exposed to Aileen's magic power, woke up. Chairman Park, are you okay, meow? Kroong. Dad, are you all right? Yeah, I'm fine, but why did I faint? I don't know, meow. Suddenly, an immense magic power appeared and then vanished, meow. Magic power? Was that what it was? Sejun recalled the suffocating feeling he had just before he fainted. But what time is it now? Gurgle. In response to Sejun's question, Kyungi's belly clock sounded. Kroong. It's dinner time. What, already? Rushing to the kitchen, Sejun found that all the water in the pot had evaporated, and the rice cakes had hardened like bricks. Looks like I'll be working late tonight. Given his schedule, he would have completed the rice cakes by tomorrow morning, but now, given the current situation, he would have to pull an all-nighter. Kroong kroong. It's a late-night snack, let's have honey popcorn. Misinterpreting working late one for late-night snack, Kyungi cheered. Seeing Kyungi, a smile naturally formed on Sejun's face. Right, what's so hard about working late? Just have a few snacks and I'll be done. On second thought, it really wasn't a big deal. Sejun hurriedly started steaming new rice cakes and preparing dinner, spicy squid soup. After smelling the steaming rice cakes, he craved something spicy. Kyungi, can you get some squid from the storage? Kroong. Got it. As Kyungi fetched the squid from the storage. Chop chop chop. Sejun chopped onions and green onions, adding them to a large pot. The pot was so big that he had to add a lot. Kroong. Dad, here you go. Kyungi returned with a box of clean squid, which Sejun poured into the pot. He seasoned it with red pepper flakes and salt, and finally adding green chili. Perfect, let's eat, everyone. Satisfied with the seasoning, Sejun called the animals. He served the white rabbits a clear version of the squid soup before adding the seasoning since they couldn't eat spicy food. Ook. On the other hand, the monkeys enjoyed the spicy soup, even though it was their first time trying it. After dinner and preparing the rice cakes, while taking a break, Chairman Park, take a look at this, meow. At the perfect moment for Sejun to praise himself, Theo handed him a contract. Absolute command agreement. For 200 years, the party of the second part cannot refuse the commands of the party of the first part. Special provisions. First party, Park Sejun human. Second party, Ajax maimed dragon. The special provisions stated that the second party cannot be commanded to give up their wealth or life. But when did I put my thumbprint on this contract? Sejun looked at his clear thumbprint on the contract, puzzled. I stamped it when you were unconscious, as Aileen gave me the contract, meow. Aileen, Sejun then remembered Aileen saying she would bring Ajax and have him not bother Sejun anymore. So Aileen really brought Ajax and got him to sign an agreement to leave me alone. Haha, so does this mean Ajax can't refuse my orders? Ajax, come here right now. Sejun summoned Ajax. TL notes. 1 both, Koyakun Henus, working late, and Koyasi Henus, Late-night snack have the same starting words and sounds and can be misunderstood if someone is not paying attention while listening or if someone is like Kyungi, who only hears everything in food terms beaming face with smiling eyes. Chapter 165. Summoning Ajax Mame, Tower Farmer of the White Tower. After about 10 seconds since the message appeared. Boom! In front of Sejun, a gigantic white dragon, Ajax, about 20 meters in size, appeared. Arg, what's this? Where am I? Ajax, who had now come to his senses, looked around and spoke. Ajax, go back. Sejun, feeling dizzy, hurriedly shouted. Just withstanding the magic power passively emitted by Ajax's breathing was enough to make Sejun feel faint. He may have acquired a dragon servant for 200 years, but he was unable to utilize him effectively. Reverse summoning Ajax Mame, Tower Farmer of the White Tower. Phew! Sejun sighed in relief after reverse summoning Ajax. Did the dragon just come and go, meow? Krung! It was the white dragon. Theo and Kyungi, who had been watching Ajax, spoke. They were already aware of the contract with Ajax and weren't too worried. Ha, did you see? A white dragon responding to my call. Sejun shouted boastfully, trying to salvage his pride. However, Chairman Park, we aren't strangers, meow. Krung. That's right, it's okay even if Kyungi's dad is weak. Rather than appearing strong, Sejun ended up being comforted by the animals. Thanks. Upon reflection, Sejun realized it wasn't the first or second time he had shown such vulnerability in front of the kids. There was no shame in it. I didn't faint in front of the dragon. Technically, he withstood Ajax's magic power for a few seconds, which was quite impressive. He had grown significantly stronger than before. It just wasn't apparent because of those around him. Get to work, slave. For now, Sejun instructed Ajax to harvest tomatoes and started making rice cakes again. The cycle of making and waiting continued. Just when things started to get a tad boring. Rumble. While lying between Sejun's legs and enjoying a stretch from Sejun, Kyungi's stomach grumbled. Kyungi, want some honey popcorn? Krung. Yes. Unsurprisingly, Kyungi couldn't resist any food with honey. Then, Chairman Park, I request the development of a churu-flavored popcorn, meow. Theo, wanting to join Sejun in eating popcorn, requested a new popcorn flavor. Churu flavor. Popcorn with churu, just the thought made Sejun grimace. Wouldn't it taste very fishy? I'll try making it. Sejun used exploding stamina corn to make popcorn. He divided the popcorn into 3 portions and started making the sauce. He took out 2 pots. In one he mixed water and honey, in the other churu and water. A sweet and fishy aroma rose. It smells delicious, meow. Krung. It smells delicious. Kyungi and Theo sniffed the aroma from the pot with the simmering churu. Isn't it fishy? To Sejun it was overly fishy, but to Theo and Kyungi it seemed appetizing. And so he made 3 flavored popcorn, salt, honey, and churu. Sejun, Theo, and Kyungi began eating. Then, Chairman Park, try this one, meow. I'm good, you eat, Vice Chairman Theo. Chairman Park, are you disregarding my sincerity, meow? No, it's just, I feel bad eating what you like. I'll make a special exception for Chairman Park, meow. Theo kept insisting on the churu-flavored popcorn. I'm fine. If Theo had maliciously offered, like, Chairman Park, eat this churu-flavored popcorn and suffer, meow, Sejun would have declined instantly. But Theo, with a I'm giving this to you because it's you, meow expression, made it hard for Sejun to refuse. Krung. Big bro, Kyungi also want to eat more of churu-flavored popcorn. Kyungi, you've eaten enough, so stop eating, meow. If Kyungi hadn't reduced the amount of churu-flavored popcorn, Sejun would have ended up with even more of it. Thus, Sejun, enduring the fishy taste in his mouth, reached his rice cake-making target and went to bed. White Tower, 99th floor. You bastard, how dare you summon and dismiss me at will? Ajax, enraged because Sejun called him and dismissed him on a whim. Then, Russell, he saw a document rolled up between his claws. Huh, what's this? Ajax unrolled the paper and began to read its contents. And then, what is this? When did I stamp this? Could it have been alien? Ajax was shocked to see his own seal on a contract stating that he couldn't refuse Sejun's orders for 200 years. He suspected alien. He couldn't imagine that his own grandfather, Kellyan, had done it. Then, Black Tower's farmer, Park Sejun, commands, harvest the elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful magic power, and offer it. Sejun's order appeared. Damn it! Ajax wanted to refuse, but the dragon's contract is different from contracts with other beings. Failing to uphold the contract damages their very existence. Such damage is lethal for dragons. Therefore, Ajax had no choice but to adhere to the contract. Thanks to that, Ajax finally began to work properly, getting his hands dirty. Of course, his face showed clear reluctance. Ag Park Sejun. Ajax grinded his teeth, calling out Sejun's name. All right. Sejun got up immediately after opening his eyes. He had fallen asleep at dawn and wanted to sleep more, but he had to finish making the rice cakes today, so he couldn't oversleep. Stretching. Mule. Sejun grabbed Theo, put him on his knee, and swoosh, added a mark on his bedroom wall, marking the start of 316th day of being stranded. Huug, my breath still stinks. Sejun smelled his own breath and frowned. He had rinsed his mouth multiple times before sleeping, but the bad breath still lingered. Then, Kwek, a mushroom ant with its antennae held high, confidently approached Sejun and showed its back, and on its back was a delicious-looking mushroom. It was an elixir mushroom. Pop it. Sejun plucked the mushroom, which looked like a black truffle but was white in color. You've harvested an enhanced elixir, white truffle. Your job experience has slightly increased. Your proficiency in harvesting LV7 has slightly increased. You've gained 250 experience points. Then, after quickly looking around, Sejun swallowed the mushroom. You've consumed the enhanced elixir, white truffle. All stats increased by 3. The strong aroma of the truffle dominated his mouth and drove away the bad breath. Now the bad smell is gone, thanks, you did a good job growing it. Kwek. The mushroom ant coolly responded to Sejun's praise and walked away. After successfully consuming the mushroom, and just as Sejun was hastily eating honey and honey jelly to get rid of the elixir mushroom smell. Krung. Daddy, Kyungi's hungry. A very sensitive baby beast, Kyungi, came looking for Sejun because he was hungry. Gulp. Oh, you're here. Sejun, though nervous, attempted to act nonchalant, yet his voice and gaze betrayed his unease. Krung. Daddy, you're acting strange. Obviously, his poor acting wasn't enough to deceive the sensitive baby beast. Sniff, sniff. Noticing Sejun's strange behavior, Kyungi began sniffing around Sejun's mouth. At least the smell from the honey shouldn't give me away. Sorry, I was hungry and had some honey. Do you want some, Kyungi? Krung. Kyungi want to eat it. Kyungi's attention was shifted to the honey due to Sejun's words, just when Sejun thought he had perfectly deceived Kyungi. Click. Krung. Daddy, your hands smell delicious. Sejun had erased the scent from his mouth, but forgot about the scent on his hands. The aroma of the truffle from his hands, while opening the glass bottle, reached Kyungi's nose. Krung. Daddy ate something delicious alone. Kyungi started to question Sejun. Today, Sejun failed to secretly eat the elixir without Kyungi noticing. Thus, Sejun was being interrogated by Kyungi about what he ate that morning alone when. Sejun, come up here for a moment. Kaiser called Sejun to the fountain with a serious tone. Yes, I'm coming. Kyungi, eat this while I'm gone, okay? Thanks to Kaiser, Sejun, who had the chance to escape, gave a bowl of chestnuts he had previously peeled to ensure Kyungi wouldn't be hungry while waiting for him, and went to Kaiser. Kroong kroong. All right, Kyungi will wait while eating the chestnuts. Kyungi sat down on the ground and waved one front paw at Sejun, while picking up and eating chestnuts with the other. Kaiser, what's the matter? Take this. With a gruff voice, Kaiser handed Sejun a mysterious black stone. It felt quite heavy, indicating its high density. Kaiser, what is this? What do you mean, what? It's food. Eat it quickly. The fact that this stone was food was surprising. You want me to eat this? Thinking he had misheard, Sejun asked again. Yes, eat it. Consider yourself fortunate. Aileen made this food specially for you. Thinking of Aileen, who had fallen asleep exhausted after cooking, Kaiser seemed to get furious again. However, what? This is a dish made by Aileen. Upon hearing Kaiser's words, Sejun's face turned pale, and he hurriedly examined the food, which did not look like food at all. Aileen's healthy meatball. Right arrow, the great black dragon Aileen Pratani combined various elixirs and meat, and then cooked them under high heat and pressure to form a ball. Right arrow, due to the extreme pressure and heat, the meat became as hard as a diamond, but its effects are outstanding. With the help of the great black dragon Kaiser Pratani, most of the toxicities of the elixirs were neutralized, preventing side effects upon consumption. Right arrow, when consumed, all stats increased by 100. Right arrow chef, the great black dragon Aileen Pratani. Right arrow expiration date, none. Right arrow grade, S+. Phew. At least this time, thanks to Kaiser, there was no poison. But all stats increased by 100. Upon confirming that there was no poison, Sejun finally took note of the other details. Aileen had specially used ingredients from their family's elixir storage with Kaiser's permission. But can I even eat this? Just to be sure, Sejun cautiously bit into Aileen's dish with his front teeth. Clink. As expected, it was solid as a rock. It felt more like he would break his teeth rather than biting the meat. It seemed more appropriate to call it a rock ball one rather than a meat ball. What a shame. It seemed safe to eat this dish since there were no mentions of poison or bad taste, but it was too hard. Tusk, what to do with this? Give it to me. I'll break it. Unable to bear it, Kaiser broke Aileen's dish into 100 pieces and gave them to Sejun. Thank you, Kaiser. Forget it, just thank Aileen when she wakes up. Yes. Kaiser, with those final words, went off to drink again. Then, should I try eating it? Sejun cautiously put one of the pill-sized meat pieces that Kaiser had given him into his mouth. Thankfully, he only tasted a slight saltiness. Gulp. As Sejun swallowed the piece of meat. You have consumed a piece of Aileen's healthy meatball. You must eat all of it to gain the full effect. 99 pieces remain. A message appeared indicating that no effect could be gained by eating only a part of it. It would be nice if my stats increased by 1 for each piece. Still, he was grateful that he could eat it this way. Although inconvenient, all he had to do was eat 100 pieces of the meat fragment. Just as Sejun was about to eat the next piece, the compressed meat expands, providing a feeling of fullness that lasts for 24 hours. Along with the message, Sejun felt his stomach expand as Aileen's compressed dish expanded inside Sejun's stomach. What if I had eaten all of it? The mere thought made cold sweat run down Sejun's forehead. TL notes. 1 here, kochuma, enus, kodahi enus, is used, which literally translates to fist axe, but is an idiomatic expression which means someone with great power or force, which doesn't translate well in English, so I have used rock ball instead to match with meatball, which roughly provides the same meaning. Chapter 166, Making Tuna Porridge. The cliff on the 38th floor's north side. Search, there is a hideout of the Three-Head Society nearby. Yes, my lord. At Ulrich's command, the Black Orc soldiers dispersed to search. Originally, they had intended to have the captured hunter from the Three-Head Society lead them directly to the hideout, but the hunter committed suicide while being transported. Or to be precise, he was forced into suicide. The hunter had strangled himself to death. I sensed the aura of curse magic. Shaman Lucan discovered traces of curse magic on the deceased hunter's body. When the Three-Head Society lost contact with the captured hunter, a preset curse by the Three-Head Society had been activated. Due to that, the Black Orcs had to personally search for the Three-Head Society hideout. Then, "My lord, there's a cave here," one of the Black Orc soldiers, who was searching down the cliff, shouted. Moments later, "There's nothing inside." "Yes, my lord. We saw the same symbol on the cave walls as the tattoo on the man who killed himself, so it must be the Three-Head Society's hideout, but it seems they've already left." The Black Orc soldiers who searched the cave returned and reported their findings. Already. Judging by the fact that they hadn't erased their own symbols from the walls, it seemed they must have left the hideout in a hurry. These aren't ordinary fellows. Considering their boldness in abandoning the hideout just because they lost contact with one member, Ulrich thought the Three-Head Society was no ordinary group. In that case, I must thoroughly track them down and wipe them out from the tower to ensure they don't interfere with the Great Black Dragon and Lord Theo's actions. As Ulrich steeled his resolve, Krrrung, another cat intern, had relayed the message successfully, and Hegel, leading the Black Wolves, arrived. Elka and the Silver Wolves had split off while descending to protect the Earth Defense Force members transporting sturdy blade green onion leaves. "Lord Hegel, you're here." "Yes, Lord Ulrich." Ulrich and Hegel exchanged greetings. They had met several times since Ulrich became Theo's subordinate. "Did you find the hideout?" "Well," Ulrich explained the current situation. "Leave it to us. We'll inspect the hideout briefly and return." "Thank you." Hegel and the wolves entered the cliffside cave to search the Three-Head Society's hideout. And then, "I've got their scent, let's go." Sniff, sniff. The wolves began to track the scent of the fleeing Three-Head Society. "It's done." Finally, after steaming all the rice cakes for the cake, Sejun shouted in joy. "Krung! Kyungi can eat rice cakes after sleeping one more night." Kyungi was also excited at the thought of eating rice cakes soon. Father and son both were happy, but for different reasons. "Let's begin." Sejun began crafting the birthday cake with rice cakes. First, lay down some banana leaves on the bottom. To prevent the rice cakes from getting dirty, Sejun placed many banana leaves on the ground and started stacking the rice cakes like bricks. 1 hour, 2 hours. Sejun concentrated on stacking the rice cakes. And then, done. Ta-da! What do you think, Kyungi? Sejun pointed at the towering 99-layer rice cake tower with a 2-meter diameter, asking Kyungi's opinion. "Krung, it looks delicious." "No, I meant the shape." Not getting the answer he wanted, Sejun asked again. "However, Krung, Kyungi does know, it just looks delicious." Kyungi had no interest in the shape of the rice cake. Sejun was a bit disappointed, but he understood. After all, they haven't seen the tower from the outside. The cake Sejun made resembled the Black Tower. He planned to have Iona dye it black with her magic later. Is it not recognizable enough? While looking at the Black Tower rice cake, Sejun began to make more rice cake dough. As time passed, Grrrr, Kyungi's stomach grumbled, indicating it was dinner time. "Krung, Dad, Kyungi's hungry." "Okay, just wait a little longer." Sejun quickly prepared dinner. He made a sweet potato soup and added round balls made from the leftover rice cake dough to it, serving it to the animals. "Krung, this is chewy and delicious." Kyungi enjoyed chewing the small balls. "Squeak. Ook." The rabbits and monkeys also loved it. "They're eating well." As Sejun watched the animals enjoy their meal. "Chairman Park, I want a churu too, meow." "All right, Vice Chairman Theo, you can have a churu too." "Lick, lick, lick." Sejun gave Theo some churu. At that moment, why do I feel so relaxed? Sejun felt oddly at ease. He soon realized why. I feel relaxed because I haven't eaten. Thanks to Aileen's meatball, he wasn't hungry. But is this a good thing? It's nice to be relaxed, but... Sejun felt a bit conflicted. Chairman Park, if you're not busy, please rub my belly, meow. I think I feel unwell, meow. Theo said, looking at Sejun's idle hand. That's not good. Next time, Sejun thought he should drink some coffee instead of a meal next time, as he stroked Theo's belly. Pad pad. Mew tilde. Lick lick lick. Theo enjoyed the churro with delight. When Theo finished eating, thud, croon. It would be nice if Dad patted Kyungi's belly too. Kyungi, who had quickly finished his meal, lay down next to Sejun. Kyungi knew exactly how to ask for what he needed. All right. Without pause, Sejun used the hand that had been feeding Theo to rub Kyungi's belly. As dinner came to an end, rustle, rustle. Sejun made the last rice cake decoration for tomorrow's birthday cake in the kitchen. Chairman Park, aren't you sleeping, meow? Theo hinted at Sejun to go to bed. Vice Chairman Theo, just wait a little, I'm almost done. Okay, meow, I'll wait, meow. Sejun still had work to do, so he asked Theo to wait. Theo's voice was weak, but Sejun thought it was just because he was sleepy. However, shiver. Chairman Park, I'm cold, meow. About an hour later, Theo began to shiver. Vice Chairman Theo, what's wrong? Sejun finally sensed something was off and checked on Theo. What the, Theo, why is your body so hot? Upon feeling Theo's feverish body, Sejun was alarmed. Theo's entire body felt like it was burning. Moreover, heavy breathing. Theo's breathing had become rough. I need to bring down Theo's fever. Sejun quickly laid Theo on some leaves and tried to cool him down with a wet towel, but... Tight grip. I don't want to be apart, meow. Even in his weakened state, Theo clung to Sejun's lap, not wanting to be put down. I understand. For now, Sejun held Theo with one hand and with the other, wiped his body to reduce the fever. Then he tied himself and Theo together with a rope and headed outside. Kaiser. Upon reaching the fountain, Sejun urgently called out to Kaiser. What's the matter? Why aren't you asleep? Kaiser, who was sipping some macchioli, asked. Theo is very ill, please help. Sejun pointed to Theo, who was clinging to his lap. Foolish kid, heal. Kaiser looked sternly at Theo and used dragon tongue magic. Flash. Theo's body began to glow green. Stun. Snore. Thanks to Kaiser's healing, Theo began to sleep comfortably. But why did Theo suddenly fall ill? It's obvious, he overexerted himself. What overexertion? Sejun, having never seen Theo overwork himself, asked in confusion. It's natural to get sick after blocking the power of 2 dragons. What? But he looked perfectly fine. That's because Theo is quite dense. Theo, while with Sejun, felt invincible and didn't recognize his own physical condition. As Kaiser said, Theo had been overexerting himself recently. Bearing the magic power from Aileen, a high-level mature dragon, and then also the power of Ajax, it was inevitable for Theo, a mere cat merchant of the 75th floor, to feel the strain on his body. Furthermore, in that condition, he overexerted himself caring for Sejun, who had fainted and was in weakened condition, which eventually caught up to him. On the other hand, Sejun, under the care of Theo and Kyungi and having consumed elixirs, quickly recovered due to his job's characteristic of not being affected by minor ailments and his power, indestructible body. Thank you, Kaiser. If you're thankful, you get it, huh? Kaiser said, shaking the liquor bottle with his hand. Yes, I'll bring you 10 bottles of new wine next time. Oh, new wine. I'll be looking forward to it, ha ha ha. Sejun left Kaiser, who was delighted at the news of the new drink, and went down to the fountain. Theo needs some nourishment too. Sejun thought of making a nourishing dish for Theo when suddenly, boom! A loud noise came from the cave where Flamey was. Flamey, what happened? Looking down at the cave, Sejun asked Flamey. Master, a huge tuna suddenly came up here. Flamey answered, shaking its leaf exaggeratedly. A tuna came up. In front of Sejun, who had been thinking of preparing a nourishing dish for Theo, appeared a giant tuna. The timing was incredible. As Sejun listened to Flamey and went down to the cave. Deep-sea giant tuna. A really huge 30-m-sized tuna was outside the pond. Unable to breathe, the tuna was already dead. This will be perfect for Theo's nourishing dish. Swish! As Sejun was happily dissecting the tuna. Roll! A blue bead rolled out from the tuna's chest. What's this? Sejun picked up the bead and examined it. Deep-sea giant tuna's core. Right arrow, this is the core of a giant tuna that has lived in the deep of the dimensional sea for over 2,000 years. Right arrow, it contains the power of healing and water. Right arrow, upon consumption, your magic power increases by 50 and you acquire the skill, healing and the talent, aquatic affinity. Right arrow, it has a strong fishy taste. Right arrow usage restriction, magic power over 200. Right arrow grade, A+. A strong fishy taste. This was perfect for Theo, and if Theo acquired the talent, aquatic affinity, it would be convenient to give him baths later. It's like having a cat with the ability to be comfortable in water. Vice Chairman Theo, let's eat something tasty. Sejun carefully opened Theo's mouth and put in the fishy-tasting deep-sea giant tuna's core. Meow Mutilda. At first, Theo resisted as Sejun forced his mouth open, but as the strongly fishy core entered his mouth, he made a pleasant sound. The core melted quickly in Theo's mouth and was absorbed into his body. Glow. For a brief moment, Theo's body glowed a faint blue, and then the light disappeared. And then, swish! Sejun continued to dissect the tuna with his dagger, putting the tuna into a pot to boil. He planned to make tuna porridge. Bubbling. While boiling the tuna, Sejun continued making the rice cakes he had started earlier. And by the time he finished the rice cakes, Kaiwat, you're still awake. Yona, who had gone to the wizard tower to complete the spell for fireworks with the wizards, returned. Yes, I still have some work left. Yona, please dye the cake black for now. Kaiwat, okay. And on this rice cake, Sejun requested a separate spell for the freshly made rice cake from Yona. Kaiwat got it. After all the work was done. Let's sleep now. Kaiwat, okay. Yona quickly wrapped herself with Theo's tail and naturally moved to Sejun's bedroom. And then, snore, gororong, kuororong. Morning began to dawn after the night. Finally, the day everyone had been eagerly waiting for, the birthday party had arrived. TL notes. 1. The birthday cake is made of rice cakes, that's why I have used rice cake instead of simple rice cake. Chapter 167. Krung. It's Kyungi's birthday party today. On his birthday, Kyungi can eat rice cakes. Kyungi, who had been waiting to eat rice cakes for days, woke up early in the morning and opened the day of the birthday party with a loud cry. However, wait, Kyungi. Sejun, who had been preparing the food for the birthday since dawn, restrained the excited Kyungi. Krung. When does Kyungi eat the rice cake? Kyungi, who thought he could eat rice cakes as soon as he woke up, began to sound aggressive. He was getting cranky because he was hungry. Here, eat this, Kyungi, and wait until we cut the rice cake. Sejun fed Kyungi a mouthful of chestnuts soaked in honey water. Chomp. Krung. It's delicious. Cheered up by the sweet taste, Kyungi started dancing, wagging his tail. If you dance like that, you'll get hungry again quickly. Guys, let's hurry up. Squeak. While Kyungi was dancing, Sejun, who intended to finish the work, shouted to the rabbits who were helping him. They had to finish the task as quickly as possible before Kyungi's hunger turned him aggressive again. A moment later. Phew, it's done. Good job, everyone. Squeak. Sejun and the rabbits, after barely finishing the birthday party preparations, sat down with exhausted expressions and took a short break. Just then, thump, the black minotaurs led by the Minotaur King and Kaiwat, a group of wizards from the Wizard Tower led by Iona, arrived at Sejun's farm to attend the birthday party. The wolves had sent a message that they couldn't attend the party as they were tracking down enemies who stole sturdy blade, green onion leaves through the cat intern, Jeff, who arrived yesterday. All right, let's start the birthday party. As all the attendees gathered, Sejun declared the start of the birthday party. Kriung. At Sejun's proclamation, a giant rice cake shaped like a tower was carefully brought out by Pinkfur. Kahiha, it's the Black Tower. Kaiser immediately recognized the tower-shaped cake instantly and smiled with satisfaction. Keek, I'm envious. Kellyan expressed his envy. However, Sejun didn't just depict a tower on the cake. At the top of the tower, there were figurines made of rice cake that Sejun had painstakingly crafted the night before. At the very front, there was a small tree with 3 leaves made from finely cut green onion leaves, representing Flamey. The leaves had different colors, reflecting meticulous attention to detail. Behind Flamey, there was Sejun wearing a straw hat and sitting cross-legged. To his sides were Black Wolf and Silver Wolf, the rabbits, and the mushroom ants. Theo and Kyungi sat happily on Sejun's lap, eating churu and honey. In reality, Kyungi sitting on Sejun's lap was impossible. I promised to become strong enough to let you sit on my lap. Knowing how much Kyungi wanted to sit on his lap but couldn't due to fear of hurting him, Sejun tried to fulfill Kyungi's wish through the cake decoration. Behind Sejun and the animals were the Black Minotaurs, Pinkfur, and the Minotaur King. In the empty spaces of the cake, bees attached to thin rods buzzed around. Kroong kroong. Kyungi is sitting on Dad's lap, so exciting. Most were moved by the intricate details that Sejun put into the cake. It was a cake decoration that pleased everyone. Chairman Park, my dragon claw is missing, meow. Of course, there were minor complaints, but most were satisfied. Then, the tower's administrator is upset that she's not included in the decorations. Aileen felt left out, as she wasn't depicted in the cake's decorations. Just wait, that's not everything. Open the storage, Iona. Sejun spoke to Aileen, opened the void storage, and signaled Iona. Kaiwat. Yes, threads of magic move as I command, Marionette. Iona cast a spell. Roar. From the void storage, 3 roaring dragons made of rice cake, flapping their wings according to Iona's spell, and flew out of the void storage. A massive black dragon was flanked by a smaller black and white dragon. The giant black dragon represented Aileen, and the dragons flying to its sides represented the black dragon Kaiser and the white dragon Kellyan. The tower's administrator is very pleased with her size. Is that supposed to be me? What? Why am I depicted so small? Aileen was satisfied with how Sejun expressed her the most, while Kaiser and Kellyan expressed dissatisfaction with their smaller representation. Now sing the song I taught you earlier, Happy Birthday Tilda. Ignoring the dragon's complaints, Sejun began to sing the birthday song. Happy birthday, Meow Tilda. Kroong Tilda. Happy birthday Tilda. Qwang Tilda. Emu Tilda. Squeak Tilda. Quack Tilda. Everyone began to sing in their own unique style. It was a discordance unlike any other. Dear Tilda. As the song headed towards its climax. Kaiwat, O power of fire, answer my call and bring the eternal hellfire. Iona conjured a massive flame in the sky, serving as candles. Candles weren't used because everyone's age varied, which was problematic. And then, Happy Birthday. Finally, the song ended. Now blow out that fire. Sejun shouted at the animals and then blew air towards the hellfire. Knowing the fire wouldn't be put out by mere breath, Iona would cancel the magic at the right moment. Ho meow. Hu Kaiwat. Kueng. Kuwong, Muo. Starting with Sejun, the animals blew air towards the hellfire. Then, shush, the hellfire went out earlier than expected. Yona, it's not time yet. Kyag, it wasn't me. Yona responded in a flustered voice, looking at Minotaur King and Pinkfur. She had underestimated the power of Minotaur King and Pinkfur. Their breath from opposite sides met in the middle, creating a whirlwind. If the hellfire hadn't gone out and they hadn't stopped blowing, the whirlwind would have swept away the rice cake and everyone. Kaiwo, my hellfire. Yona's pride was unexpectedly scratched. Once the candle blowing ended, Pinkfur, lift me up. Sejun called Pinkfur to take him to the top of the cake for the final cake-cutting ceremony. Thank you, Pinkfur. Vice Chairman Theo, bring out your claws. Got it, meow. Snap. Theo unsheathed his claws and infused them with magic power. Puhoot. Chairman Park, behold the power of my dragon claw, meow. Happy birthday, everyone, here we go. Sejun once again wished everyone a happy birthday and began to cut the cake with Theo's claw. Swish. Thanks to the dragon claw, it cut smoothly, too smoothly. Huh. It felt like Theo's claw was slicing even before making contact. This was because Theo had infused so much magic power in his claws that an invisible power emanated from them. Theo's claw sliced the rice cake in an instant, and Sejun quickly landed on the bottom layer. Kugung. The rice cake split in two. Krung. Can we eat the cake now, Tilda? As soon as the rice cake was cut, Kyungi lunged towards it. Kyung. Mu. All the other animals also began to rush towards the cake. Kyudung Tang. This isn't right. Sejun looked at the shattered rice cake being ravaged by the animals with a look of desolation. He had imagined a harmonious scene of everyone enjoying the cake. Krung. Kriung. Squeak. Ook. It was a wild scene. Then, Imu. Black minotaurs tried to pull the banana leaves spread on the floor to eat. Roll, roll. Sejun, who was on top of the banana leaves, rolled with the rice cake. It was total chaos. However, he couldn't help but laugh. It was too much fun. Arg, whatever. No matter what, as long as it's fun, that's all that matters. Sejun rolled around more actively on the rice cake with Theo in his arms. Meow, it's sticky, meow. Theo was annoyed looking at his fur covered in sticky rice, but washing later would solve it. After all, Theo now had the talent, aquatic affinity. That's how the rice cake cutting ceremony ended and the real birthday party began. Here, have some macchiali. Sejun brought out 11 different flavored macchialis from the brewery. Come here and get a drink each. You have to have a drink on your birthday. One for me, one for you, ha ha ha. Take my drink too. Kaiser and Kellyan barged in. Sejun tried to stop the two dragons from using tricks to drink more alcohol, but he gave up when he saw the animals lining up in front of them with eyes full of reverence. Come to think of it, the dragon's authority in the tower wasn't taken lightly. To the animals, receiving a drink from the dragons that represented the two towers could be a tremendous honor to boast about for generations. While the adults were getting drinks from the dragons. Hey kids, have some of this. Sejun handed out sweet snacks like chestnuts and sweet potato candies to the young animals who couldn't drink alcohol. Then, I should eat some too. Sejun sat down, sipped on his macchiali, and began to eat the other dishes. Then, the tower's administrator congratulates you on your birthday. The tower's administrator says this is her gift. With Aileen's words, a document was placed in Sejun's hand. Aileen found the document while searching the Pratani family's warehouse for Sejun's birthday gift. Persimmon Farm Land Deed, 49th floor of the tower. Oh, persimmons, Aileen, thank you, it's a wonderful gift. Sejun, who can now eat persimmons, was delighted with Aileen's gift. He could now enjoy foods like dried persimmons, fresh persimmon juice, and other persimmon delicacies. The tower's administrator regrets not being able to deliver the gift personally. It's all right. Sejun had heard about Aileen's condition from Kaiser. If she came, it would rather be a situation to avoid. The tower's administrator says she has a lot to tell you. The tower's administrator says she met a very old grandmother in the Dragonheart fragment. An old grandmother. Aileen told the story of meeting Kaira's lingering spirit from the Dragonheart fragment brought by Theo. That happened while talking to Aileen. Yawned. Sejun yawned, getting drowsy from the alcohol. Along with the drinking, the fatigue from preparing for the birthday party also caught up with him. Chairman Park, your face looks so exhausted, meow. But don't worry, meow. Vice Chairman Theo with healing power will massage you, meow. Theo began massaging Sejun's face with his front paws. Theo now had the healing skill, so Sejun felt the effect immediately as his fatigue was alleviated. However, squish, squish. Theo's paws, which still had sticky cake residue, felt unpleasant on Sejun's face. This won't do, let's wash up first. Hee all right, meow, let's go wash, meow. Due to the water affinity, Theo didn't resist the bath. Splash. So Sejun and Theo headed to the fountain and stepped into the water. However, the water didn't wet Theo's fur when they got in. What? Hee. Theo chuckled, looking at Sejun. Hey, who said you could use water affinity like that? Sejun, realizing Theo's mischief, got angry. Hehe, I'm waterproof now, meow. Instead of bonding with water using his water affinity, Theo had repelled it. It was a completely different use of the water affinity skill than Sejun had anticipated. Fortunately, only the fur was waterproof, so the sticky cake stuck on it could be washed off. Splash, splash. In the end, Sejun washed Theo as if he was doing laundry, dunking him into the water a few times. It feels refreshing, meow. Theo, who finished his bath without a drop of water on him, smiled contentedly. Chapter 168. After being bathed by Sejun without a drop of water left on him, Theo felt refreshed and happy. Even though he had taken a bath, his fur remained fluffy. There would be no more occasions for Chairman Park to see his wet fur. Meow, meow, meow. After the bath, Theo, clinging to Sejun's lap, hummed a cheerful tune. Then, I wonder where Kyungi is. Sejun, with Theo clinging to him, descended the fountain and headed towards the area where the young animals were snacking. Kyungi had obviously rolled in the rice cake earlier, so Sejun intended to bathe him as well. I should remove it before the rice cake hardens. Sejun arrived at the place where the young animals were snacking. However, why is the atmosphere like this? The atmosphere around the young animals felt strangely tense. Moo! There were 5 young black minotaurs, each about 3 meters tall, lying on the ground, and Kroong! Kyungi was roaring, fists raised in front of them. Behind Kyungi, there were several frozen baby rabbits and a crying young black minotaur about 1 meter tall. Did our Kyungi do this? In a flash, an image played in his mind of Kyungi tormenting the other animals, and the 5 black minotaurs trying to stop him. Sejun wondered if he had spoiled Kyungi too much, but he had never known Kyungi to strike first. The Kyungi he knew was a very kind and not the first to start a fight. No way, our Kyungi wouldn't do that. As Sejun solidified his belief in Kyungi. Kroong! Kyungi snatched a steamed corn from the hand of the fallen black minotaur. What, did he steal their snack? Sejun's trust in Kyungi began to waver instantly. It was indeed a very fragile trust. Then, Kroong! Kyungi handed the stolen steamed corn to the crying baby black minotaur. Then Sejun understood the situation. The older black minotaurs tried to take food from the younger one, so Kyungi intervened and scolded them. Hehe, our Kyungi is awesome. A proud Sejun chuckled. The baby black minotaur who received the steamed corn looked at Kyungi with eyes full of admiration. Receiving such admiring gazes, Kyungi approached the fallen black minotaurs. Then, Krung, the enlarged Kyungi helped them up and shared snacks from his snack pocket. Krung, as the saying goes, you get closer through fights. Kyungi and the black minotaurs quickly became friends. It was a heartwarming scene fit for a children's comic. Hehe, whoever raised him did a good job. Sejun looked at Kyungi with satisfaction. Then, Krung, spotting Sejun, Kyungi ran towards him. And, Krung, Kyungi's snack pocket is empty. Kyungi will fill it up from Dad's storage. Kyungi boldly requested to take food from Sejun's storage. Kyungi was certainly not an attacker, but why couldn't Sejun shake off the feeling that he was? With a confused expression, Sejun obediently opened his storage. Perhaps for those heartwarming moments in comics to occur frequently, a parent's wallet needs to be full, Sejun thought, as Kyungi was filling up his snack pocket from the storage. Vice Chairman Theo, please heal the kids. Today was everyone's birthday. Hopping for everyone's happiness, Sejun asked Theo to heal the young black minotaurs. Although their black skin didn't show marks, they surely would have bruises from Kyungi's blows. Understood, Meow, come here, Meow. Theo proceeded to heal the young black minotaurs. Consider it an honor that Vice Chairman Theo is healing you personally, Meow. But you guys look like you could carry heavy loads, Meow. Would you consider becoming my subordinates, Meow? Of course, in the midst of all this, Theo didn't neglect his responsibilities as vice chairman of Sejun's farm, trying to recruit helpers to sell more crops. Krung, all filled up. In the meantime, Kyungi filled up his snack pocket. For reference, thanks to Iona's spatial expansion feature, Kyungi's snack pocket now had the capacity to hold as much as a small room. Let's go for a bath, Kyungi. Krung, understood. Originally fond of baths, Kyungi did not resist at all and followed Sejun obediently to the fountain to bathe. Of course, Theo, who had acquired the water affinity, entered the water while hanging onto Sejun's knee. After the bath was finished, splash! Kyungi shook off the water from his body. Sejun had been standing at a distance all this time, as getting hit by the water Kyungi shook off was quite painful. Krung, all done. When Kyungi shook off most of the water, swoosh! Sejun approached and quickly wiped off the remaining moisture with a towel. Krung. Kyungi's sleepy. Kyungi wants to sleep. As Sejun dried him, Kyungi began to doze off. Kurorong. Rub. As Sejun was rubbing the sleeping Kyungi's belly. Ajax Maimb, tower farmer of the White Tower, has harvested an elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful magic power. 5000 elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful magic power are stored in the White Tower's temporary storage. The White Tower's temporary storage is full. As the temporary storage cannot accommodate more crops, the harvesting task for Ajax Maimb, tower farmer of the White Tower, is terminated. To transfer from the White Tower to the Black Tower, 1 million tower coins were needed. Sejun had been trying to fill up to the maximum weight of 100 kg each time, but there was a limit to the storage capacity of the temporary storage. Only 5,000 can be stored. Well, it can't be helped. I'll transfer all the crops in the temporary storage here. Sejun transferred the crops to the Black Tower. You have paid the basic tower transport fee of 1 million tower coins. Transporting 5,000 elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful magic power, 50 kg, to the Black Tower. Ajax, start harvesting again. Of course, Sejun didn't forget to remotely instruct Ajax to keep working. A moment later, flash! 5000 elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful magic power, 50 kg, have arrived. A bright beam of light dropped in front of Sejun, and when the light disappeared, 5,000 white cherry tomatoes harvested by Ajax appeared. Wow! Sejun marveled at the 5,000 elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful magic power. Eating them all would increase one's magical power by 50,000. Of course, there's a high chance it might go as planned, so he set a modest target of 10,000. Let taste it first. Sejun had never had a chance to taste the grade A cherry tomato before. He eagerly picked up one cherry tomato. As Sejun bit into the cherry tomato, crunch! The skin of the cherry tomato was crushed, releasing a tangy juice and a refreshing sensation into his mouth. And then, gulp! It went down his throat as if it was the most natural thing. As he swallowed the grade A cherry tomato, a refreshing feeling spread throughout his body. His body eagerly demanded another cherry tomato, and Sejun hastily began consuming more grade A cherry tomatoes. How many did he eat? You have consumed an elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful magic power. The potential for magic stat has reached its limit. You cannot absorb any more magic power. Magic power is being discharged. What? With the message, Sejun recalled the power, strong magic, which increases magic by 50 regardless of the body's potential. He knew he had a low stat potential, but he didn't expect to reach its limit so soon. Is my potential that low? So Sejun had a low potential as well. So what's my magic stat potential? As Sejun was about to check his magic power. Gurgle. Suddenly, he felt a pain in his stomach. The discharged magic seemed to be exiting from below. Vice Chairman Theo, guard this for me. I need to go to the restroom. Got it, meow. Sejun hurriedly entrusted Theo with the grade A cherry tomatoes and ran to the restroom inside the house. During Sejun's absence, Mu. Kwek. It was as if a blue moon had occurred. Monsters in the vicinity lost their senses and rushed towards the white cherry tomatoes. The presence of 5,000 grade A cherry tomatoes, although not as influential as a blue moon, still affected the monsters. Meow, no meow, don't eat meow. Thea rushed to block the oncoming monsters. Phew, that was close. Sejun, who fortunately made it safely to the restroom, relaxed and leisurely checked his magic stats. The restroom was enchanted with a soundproofing spell, making it an excellent space to think as no sound from inside would leak out, and no external noise could be heard. Magic 157.94. How sad. Sejun spoke with a desolate expression after checking his magic stat. Before eating the grade A cherry tomatoes, Sejun's magic power stat was 112, meaning he was full after consuming only 5 out of 5,000 grade A cherry tomatoes. He couldn't even digest 50, let alone the modest expectation of 10,000. What was even sadder was that no matter how many of the remaining over 4,000 grade A cherry tomatoes he ate, they wouldn't be absorbed and would just be excreted as waste. But my magic stat potential was 99. From the magic stat displayed, Sejun calculated the remaining stat after deducting the effect of talent. Enhanced magic circuit, plus 6% in power, strong magic, which increased his magic by 50. He would have to check later, but he had a feeling that the potential for his other stats was also 99. Perhaps 99 was the potential of humans. Yes, that must be it. It's a human characteristic. With that, Sejun concluded that his characteristic was a universal human one. Then on Earth, I must have the highest magic stat. Even with the help of talents or items, there's a limit to increasing a stat beyond a potential of 99. Shifting his view from the 99th floor of the tower to Earth, Sejun felt a profound sense of grandeur. With that lofty heart, Sejun stepped outside. Where did everything go? Not a single one of the previously abundant white cherry tomatoes was in sight. Then, Chairman Park, over here, meow. The voice of Theo came from below. Looking down, Sejun saw Theo hiding under the stairs of the house. Vice Chairman Theo, what are you doing there? Sejun naturally knelt down and asked. I was guarding your cherry tomatoes, meow. Theo emerged from under the stairs, looking around cautiously, and clung to Sejun's knee. guarding the cherry tomatoes. Yes, meow. After Chairman Park went to the restroom. Theo began explaining what had happened after Sejun went to the restroom. So, you're saying the animals suddenly got excited and rushed over? Yes, meow. So I hid the remaining cherry tomatoes in my bag, but I couldn't save them all, meow. Theo said with a gloomy voice. The animals had unexpectedly rushed over, and around 3,000 of them were eaten. It's okay, bring out the contract. Vice Chairman Theo, let's get to work. Hehe, understood, meow. Theo, revitalized by Sejun's words, sinisterly smiled and pulled out a bundle of blank contracts from his bag. They're all going to be under my control now, meow. And then, Kyungi, wake up. Sejun woke Kyungi, who was soundly sleeping amidst all the commotion, for catching the culprits. Kroong, why did you wake me? Sejun popped a grate cherry tomato into the yawning Kyungi's mouth. Kroong, kroong. It's delicious, Kyungi feels energized. After eating the grate cherry tomato, Kyungi quickly stood up. Kyungi, find the animals that smell like what you just ate. Kroong. Got it. Sniff, sniff. Kroong. Found them. Oh, already. Kroong, kroong. The scent from Dad's mouth is even stronger than mine. How many did Dad eat? Huh, not me, but... Sejun, who was trying to catch the animals that ate the grate cherry tomatoes, got caught himself instead. Chapter 169. Southeast of Brasilia. Boom! While the wave from Locust paused, a sudden explosion sounded from where the Earth Defense Force members had gathered, taking a break. What was that? Is it the Locust? In the midst of the members' confusion. Thud. Arg. Stealthily infiltrated hunters began attacking the members. Attack them. Simultaneously, hunters poured out from all sides and assaulted them. It's the hunters, they're ambushing us. Everyone get into formation, power of ice. Amidst the chaos, Lucilia, the guild master of the Wizard Guild, issued commands to the members and began preparing her magic. It was to buy time for the members to get in formation. However, Lucilia, whose specialty was fire magic, couldn't use it near the sturdy blade green onion leaves. With no choice, she utilized ice magic to gain time. While Lucilia was buying time, the members managed to form up. However, there are too many of them. Compared to the 50 members of the Earth Defense Force that had managed to regroup, they were surrounded by 3,000 enemies, specifically 1,000 hunters and 2,000 civilians. Block them. Hold on. They desperately fended off the enemy attacks, but they were continuously pushed back. Before they knew it, they had been driven far from the area with the sturdy blade green onion leaves. Damn it! Just as Lucilia and about 10 other members were barely holding on. We've secured the items, retreat. The masked hunters began to withdraw. When Lucilia returned to the location of the sturdy blade green onion leaves, what Lucilia saw was an empty land. Damn! The masked individuals had taken all the sturdy blade green onion leaves. I ate 5. Kroong. And you're only giving Kyungi 1. Upon hearing Sejun's words, Kyungi turned away, showing his back to Sejun. It was his way of expressing his displeasure. Grrr, I'm upset. No, I thought you were sleeping, that's why. If you liked it, I was going to give you more. Sejun hastily explained, as he took out another grate cherry tomato from Theo's bag. Then, here, eat. Sejun approached the turned Kyungi and fed him a cherry tomato, appeasing his hurt feelings. Kroong. It's delicious. Kyungi happily accepted and ate 10 of the grade cherry tomatoes that Sejun fed him. Kroong. Kyungi's going to catch the thief who stole Dad's crops. Sniff, sniff. Kyungi, having had his feelings assuaged, began tracing the scent of the grade cherry tomatoes. At last, the dream team set out to catch the cherry tomato thief. Kyungi was in charge of power and tracking. Theo was responsible for getting the contract stamped. Sejun was the victim, the owner of the stolen cherry tomatoes. Well, the last roll seemed unnecessary, but... By the way, Kyungi, don't you need to go to the bathroom, or feel any discomfort? Sejun asked Kyungi. Just a while ago, Kyungi had eaten 11 cherry tomatoes, which meant an increase in magic power by 110 in such a short time. Sejun believed it would probably be fine, but asked out of concern that Kyungi might overexert himself. Krung krung. Kyungi hasn't eaten enough to need the bathroom yet, and Kyungi's feeling perfectly fine. As expected, Kyungi was just being Kyungi. Sejun had been overly worried. You fool, always worrying about others, especially about Kyungi. Just as Sejun was scolding himself for his unnecessary concern. Krung. Dad, follow me quickly, I've caught the scent. Kyungi called Sejun, having detected the scent of the grade cherry tomatoes. Already got it. Sejun quickly followed the scent tracing Kyungi. Central Mato Grosso in Brazil. Step, step. Two men in black suits left their disciples behind and walked around the massive farm. Mr. 3, isn't the amount of sturdy blade green onion leaves less than what you promised? Michael McLaren, the vice chairman of Gagel, spoke with a voice full of displeasure to the man wearing a mask labeled 3. The agreed quantity was supposed to cover the southeast of Mato Grosso completely. Please wait a little longer. The required quantity will arrive soon. The masked man said, checking the time. And then, vroom. About 5 minutes later, dozens of trucks loaded with sturdy blade green onion leaves appeared. Wow, how did you gather such a large quantity? Just pay the promised amount. Understood. Michael took out his smartphone and sent the promised payment. I've sent it. Thank you, we'll be on our way then. With that, the man left. Vice Chairman, we have a big problem. A secretary rushed over in a hurry. What's the matter? Quickly get the workers and tell them to plant the sturdy blade green onion leaves. That's not the issue, please take a look at this. The secretary showed her smartphone. The screen displayed Brasilia being overtaken by locusts. What's this? Michael commented nonchalantly. This was something he had anticipated. To fulfill the deadline Mr. 3 had promised to Michael for the sturdy blade green onion leaves, he naturally had to interfere with the ones planted around Brasilia. The Black Tower has disappeared. Before Michael could avoid watching the video further, the secretary jumped to the conclusion. What? The Black Tower disappeared? Upon hearing the secretary's words, Michael continued watching. Suddenly, the locusts that entered Brasilia all flew in one direction. Their target was the Black Tower. And as the locusts surrounded the Black Tower in Brasilia, whoosh, the Black Tower vanished. What? How could the Black Tower disappear? Facing this unexpected situation, Michael was taken aback. When the grade cherry tomatoes disappeared, the monsters who had eaten them soon came to their senses. They pretended to be calm, trying to hide the fact that they consumed the tomatoes. The smell is there, isn't it, Detective Kyungi? Krung krung. Yes, the smell of two being eaten is here. Kyungi responded, sniffing around Minotaur 7's mouth. Detective Kyungi's sense of smell could even detect the exact number eaten. Haha, Vice Chairman Theo, it's 2. Got it, meow. Swoosh. Theo edited the contract. The clause that had stated working for free for 10 years was changed to 20 years. Then, pew hu hut, stamp it here, meow. Theo, laughing villainously like Sejun, handed Minotaur 7 the contract. It felt as though they were debt collectors rather than someone catching a thief. Good job, Kyungi. Here's a sweet potato for you. While Theo was getting Minotaur 7's stamp, Sejun motivated Kyungi with praise and sweet snacks to find the next culprit. Krung. Kyungi found another smell. Wait a moment, just need the stamp. With the motivation from praise and snacks, Kyungi quickly found the next culprit and the culprit is here. Thanks to Sejun playing detective and stamp it, meow. Theo, who quickly collected the stamps on the contracts, All the thieves were caught, and over 1,000 contracts were obtained in about 3 hours. They truly were a dream team. Of course, excluding one person would have increased the time to about 2 hours. Hud. Looking at the numerous contracts in his hand, Theo grinned with satisfaction. I have more employees now, meow. It was great to have more subordinates to command. By the time they had caught all the culprits who stole the grade, a cherry tomatoes. Sejun, I'm back. The golden bat, who had gone to guide the honeybees to the 83rd floor farm, luckily returned before the birthday party ended. Golden bat, good job, and happy birthday, have this. Sejun handed over a cherry tomato to the golden bat, who was late to his own birthday party because he was helping Sejun. Thank you, happy birthday to you too, Sejun. Zip zip. The golden bat quickly started to suck on the white cherry tomato. Oh, it's delicious. The golden bat eagerly sucked on the cherry tomato. Then, gurgle, croon. Kyungi's hungry. Kyungi's stomach clock indicated that it was dinner time. Just a moment. Sejun hurriedly prepared dinner. Since he only had to bring out the food he had already prepared, he was able to set the dinner quickly. And while the animals were eating, you have consumed a piece of Aileen's healthy meatball. You must eat all of it to gain the full effect. 98 pieces remain. Sejun filled his stomach from the fist-sized meat pieces made by breaking Aileen's healthy meatball and prepared for the grand finale of the birthday party. With the meatballs made by Aileen, Sejun prepared the finale of his birthday party. Create thundercloud. Sejun spread the dark thunderclouds in the sky, blocking the light. The sky darkened, turning black. Then, Yona. Kaiwat, understood power of fire. Power of light. At Sejun's signal, Iona, along with the wizard she had brought, chanted magic and started a fireworks show. Boom, boom. With each burst of firework, starting with Sejun, one by one the animals appeared and then vanished. Kroong. There's a Kyungi in the sky. As they were enjoying the fireworks, Roar. A firework in the shape of a massive dragon, Kaiser, appeared and roared. This was the climax of the fireworks show. I bet Kaiser will love this. Sejun looked towards where the dragon statue stood, expecting Kaiser to be pleased, but neither Kaiser nor Kellyan were in sight. Roar. Meanwhile, a massive white dragon firework representing Kellyan appeared, roaring. Where did they both go? Aileen, pay attention, your firework is next. As Sejun was telling Aileen not to miss her next firework, the tower's administrator says there's an anomaly on Earth. What kind of anomaly? The tower's administrator says one of the 100 black towers on Earth has vanished. What? A tower disappeared? Explain. Kaiser, who had helped Aileen in the administrative zone due to the sudden emergency, appeared and spoke. When any tower faces destruction, its entrance automatically disappears. It's to protect the beings inside the tower. What about the hunters who went in through the vanished tower? They can't get out since the tower has disappeared. But now is not the time to worry about those hunters. If 9 more towers disappear, making it 10 in total, all the black towers will vanish from Earth. What? Sejun was shocked by Kaiser's words. If the black towers disappear, it would mean the end of the Earth. In essence, it would mean leaving the planet behind. Isn't there a way to prevent the towers from disappearing? Regrettably, there is. This is a law set by the Creator. All we can do is delay the tower's disappearance to prolong the impending doom. It was hard to believe such a pessimistic answer had come from the usually powerful and arrogant Kaiser. Then, boom, roar. The biggest firework so far exploded, revealing a massive black dragon, Aileen, roaring in the sky before gradually fading. While watching the disappearing firework, Chairman Park, stay strong, meow. I don't know what's going on, but Vice Chairman Theo will help, meow. Kroong. Kyungi will help Daddy too. Theo and Kyungi, who didn't even know the situation, stepped forward to help when they saw Sejun's distressed face. And the tower's administrator says she will also help you. Aileen also offered her assistance to Sejun. Thank you, everyone. Alone it might be tough, but together there will be a way. Sejun stroked Theo and Kyungi's fur, while thinking of ways to prevent the Earth from easily being destroyed. Chapter 170, It's Not Free. Sejun woke up from his sleep, squinting his eyes. He had gone to bed late because he had been thinking of ways to save the Earth until dawn. Chairman Park, your face is all wrinkled again. Theo, who had woken up early for the first time in a while and was observing Sejun's face, began to press it with his front paw as soon as Sejun got up. No, there's no need to thank me, meow. Theo generously offered his kindness. Fine, do as you please. Thud, thud. Sejun left his face in Theo's paws and organized the thoughts he had before dawn. The conclusion he had drawn after much contemplation was unchanged. His crops were effective in repelling the locusts. So, we'll proceed with the original plan. However, this time he was thinking of expanding it on a larger scale, creating a new farm. 49th Floor Persimmon Farmland Deed. Sejun planned to use the land deed document to establish a massive sturdy blade green onion farm on the 49th floor of the tower. This was to increase the supply of sturdy blade green onions to Earth and reduce the transportation distance. The labor for farming would be determined after checking on the 49th floor, but if he couldn't find enough laborers, he considered seeking help from the rabbits of the Rabbit Kingdom on the 55th floor. Then, Krung. Daddy, Kyungi's hungry for breakfast. Kyungi, having awakened from hunger, came looking for Sejun. Got it. Sejun quickly prepared breakfast. And I'm going down the tower. While eating breakfast, he informed the animals of his plans. Naturally, he informed the dragons as well. All right, return safely. Take care. The dragons seemed disappointed, knowing they wouldn't get to enjoy their maxiali and meals without Sejun, but they said nothing more. While Sejun was talking to the dragons, Chairman Park, I'm ready, meow. Krung. Kyungi is ready too. Theo, with his bag packed, and Kyungi, with a giant lunch box on his back, finished their preparations to descend the tower. I'm ready too. The golden bat sat atop Kyungi's bag with a tiny bundle. Clank. Get inside the void storage. After placing the animals into the void storage, Sejun said, Aileen, I'll be back. The tower's administrator will be watching over you, so do as you please. Now, with her enhanced abilities, Aileen could use the tower's features effectively, which included the ability to see situations on other floors through the crystal orb. Knowing you're watching makes me feel reassured. Swish. Sejun smiled as he unfolded the land deed document. The summoning function for the initial engraving of the land deed for the 49th floor persimmon farm has been activated. Sejun disappeared as he moved to the 49th floor. Black Tower, first floor. There was a commotion near the exit. What's going on? Why can't they leave? Some of the hunters, intending to return to Earth via the tower's exit, were unable to proceed, as if blocked by a wall. They had one thing in common. They had entered through the Black Tower located in Brasilia. They had heard about Brasilia being attacked by locusts and were in a rush to return to Earth. Then, the Black Tower you used to enter has been destroyed. The exit is gone and you can't leave. The message that appeared before them felt like a death sentence. Over 30,000 hunters who had entered the tower through the Black Tower in Brasilia panicked as their way back disappeared in an instant. This made other hunters realize that if the tower they entered through disappeared, they could never leave. They quickly informed their respective countries. Consequently, nations intensified their scrutiny to prevent even a single locust from getting through. In the current situation, the power and economic strength of each nation heavily depended on the hunters growing within the towers. Therefore, the disappearance of the tower was a significant loss to the nation. With the introduction of mysterious crops from the tower, its value had increased even more. What do we do? A member of the Earth Defense Force, who entered the Black Tower in Brasilia to escape the locusts, asked Lucilia. Among the hunters who couldn't leave were 10 members of the Earth Defense Force. First, let's inform Han Taejun and ask for his help. Understood. Upon hearing Lucilia's response, they hurriedly began to ascend to the 40th floor of the tower. You have arrived at the 49th floor farm. You have moved from the top floor, 99th floor, to the 49th floor. You have descended 50 floors. Due to the effect of tidal, retrogressor, all stats increase by 50. Well, no matter how he thought about it, the effect of tidal, retrogressor, was simply too good. The idea that his stats would increase even more as he descended was like telling the weak to become even stronger. Now's not the time. Clang. Sejun quickly opened the void storage, summoning Theo, Kyungi, and the golden bat. There's no telling where danger might lurk. The painful experiences on the 77th and 83rd floors had taught Sejun to never let his guard down. He quickly surveyed his surroundings. There were about 100 persimmon trees around, but not one bore fruit. The trees, filled with withered branches, certainly didn't seem to be in good shape. Then, Earth Defense Force, let's move out, meow. A shout from Theo echoed from within the void storage. And then, flap flap. Speed Gold is here. From the void storage emerged the golden bat, donning the bone helmet, swiftly emerged and took to the skis. Following that, Kroong, Power Honey is here. Similarly wearing the bone helmet, Kyungi rolled out from the storage, positioning itself in front. Pew Hut, Lucky Yellow is here, meow. Lastly, Theo, also wearing the bone helmet, came out and struck a pose with one leg stretched forward. Roll. Kroong. Kyungi rolled next to Theo, taking a mirrored stance. And then, flap flap. The golden bat, which had soared into the sky, landed between the two, spreading its wings as wide as possible. What are you guys doing? To defend the Earth, we must pose like this, meow. Chairman Park, you didn't know, meow. Kroong. That's right, Dad should quickly come and stand in the middle. Was the middle spot for me? What are you talking about? Who said that? I saw it on Earth. The Earth Defense Force has to create a great formation. Did I do well? The golden bat proudly stated. After descending to the 83rd floor, it had moved to Earth. Although Han Taejun had promised to help Sejun to buy the building under Sejun's name, there were still numerous offices with contracts pending. While he was wandering around the offices, the golden bat noticed an employee watching something. Earth Defense Force power pose. The man watched intently, learning about the children's favorite show so he could play with his child later. Thanks to him, the golden bat could also study about the Earth Defense Force. The name and pose of the Earth Defense Force are essential. Thus, the trio had practiced the Earth Defense Force pose in the void storage to help Sejun, who was worried about saving Earth. Sejun chuckled upon realizing what they were up to. All right, Dragon Warrior helmet summon. Sejun summoned his helmet and placed himself between Theo and Kyungi, taking a stance with one knee bent. Chairman Park is here. Pew Hut, now we can defend Earth, meow. Although Sejun didn't understand their logic, Theo's confident statement somehow reassured him. No, big brother, we're still one member short. The Earth Defense Force always consists of 5 members. What, meow? Where are we going to find another member all of a sudden? Kroong. This is a problem. As the creatures worried about finding another member. By the way, aren't there any monsters here? Sejun asked, looking around. Despite all the ruckus, nothing had shown itself, but there was another reason for that. Brothers, have you forgotten about me? Earth Defense Force's Black Earth Dragon is here. The Earth Dragon appeared, poking its head out of the ground, becoming the 5th member. Since the Earth Dragon was a pair with the Tower Farmer, it could follow Sejun wherever he went. And then, the reason for the surrounding silence became clear. Thud thud. The moles, frightened by the Earth Dragon, couldn't approach. They peeked their heads out, each the size of a soccer ball. "Hey kids, come here." Sejun called out to the moles. He had been in need of workers anyway, so finding them so easily was a good start. However, thud thud. Moles feigned ignorance at Sejun's words. They couldn't believe the weakest one in the group was speaking. "Come here when I'm asking nicely." Sejun got angry, but thud. The moles remained unmoved. Then, "How dare you defy the master's command?" As the Earth Dragon stepped forward in anger. Thud thud thud. The moles scattered and ran away in a hurry. At the same time, "You have been recognized as the rightful owner of the land deed for the persimmon farm on the 49th floor of the tower. Land deed skill, farm information LV, Max is activated." He was recognized as the owner of the land. It seemed like chasing away the moles validated it. 49th floor persimmon farm land deed. Right arrow. This land deed proves the ownership of the persimmon farm, located on the 49th floor of the tower. Right arrow owner, Tower Farmer Park Sejun. Right arrow grade, C+. Right arrow skill, farm information LV, Max. Farm information LV, Max. Right arrow size, 10,000 square meters. Right arrow crops, 104 persimmon trees. Right arrow worker, one's landowner. Right arrow special note. Moles have been gnawing on the roots of the persimmon trees, leaving them in poor condition. There are 2012 moles available to be used as workers. So the moles were gnawing on the roots. That's why the persimmon trees looked withered. Earth Dragon, turn over the ground first. Once the Earth Dragon turned the ground, Sejun can quickly create fields using Myler's hoe later on. "Yes, leave it to me, master." Sejun gave instructions to Toryong and touched the withered branches of a persimmon tree. Farmer's Warm Touch LV, 4 is activated. The roots of the persimmon tree heal slightly while touched. It was as he had seen earlier. When Sejun inspected the soil closely around the persimmon trees, he could see mounds of raised soil. It was obvious without looking. The work of the moles. Sejun continued to heal each persimmon tree. "Power Force, go fight." The golden bat sang, healing the trees. For some unknown reason, plants seemed to thrive and grow faster when listening to the golden bat's song, even though it had no related skill. When Sejun had completely healed the roots of 5 persimmon trees. "Chairman Park, Lucky Yellow wants some churros, meow." "Krung." Power Honey is also hungry. Theo and Kyungi held their bellies and spoke. "All right, just a moment." Snap. Sejun quickly made a fire with a snap of his fingers, lighting up some fallen dry persimmon branches, and hurriedly prepared food. Sizzle, sizzle. First, he roasted sweet potatoes and cherry tomatoes for lunch. And then, "Vice Chairman Theo, your claws." "Got it, meow." Theo took out his claws and thinly sliced the frozen locust meat. He also planned to prepare soup for dinner. Crunch, crunch. As Theo diligently sliced the locust meat with his claws. Thud. The moles, drooling, circled around Sejun, roughly 2,000 of them. Their focus was on the locust meat Sejun was cutting. "Do you want to eat this?" Thud, thud. The moles nodded vigorously at Sejun's question. "Heh, then come and eat." With a mischievous grin, Sejun handed the sliced locust meat to the moles. Thud. As the moles were enjoying the meat. "But do you guys have money? This isn't free." Thud. The moles looked puzzled at Sejun's words. "Vice Chairman Theo." "Pew hut, moles stamp here, meow." Theo collected stamps from the moles who were eating the meat, and thanks to that, Sejun could easily hire workers for the farm on the 49th floor.